Have you ever been incredibly tired, but just couldn't fall asleep? As you lay there wondering, how can I get some sleep? Someone hands you a warm glass of milk, you drink it, and within about 10 minutes, you realize you're drifting off. Then, on another morning, you struggle to wake up. You quickly fix yourself a cup of coffee. Shortly after drinking it, you feel energetic and alert. Two different drinks, the same house, but completely opposite effects. Here's the strange thing. Most of us accept this as a fact of life without ever questioning why. Actually, it all starts in your brain with a chemical process that is happening even right now, the production of a substance called adenosine. It begins to build up slowly from the moment you wake up. Think of it as a growing fatigue load. The longer you stay awake, the more adenosine accumulates, and the more intensely your brain feels the weight of the day. Once enough is built up, the brain receives a signal. It's time to sleep. Adenosine works by binding to specific receptors in your brain. When it binds, it slows everything down. Your alertness drops, and your reactions become sluggish. That heavy, foggy feeling you get in the early afternoon is exactly the sign that adenosine is doing its job. This is where coffee comes in. The active ingredient in coffee, caffeine, is structurally very similar to adenosine. Because of this similarity, it easily binds to those same receptors and occupies them. But here's the key difference. It doesn't activate the receptors, it just blocks them. Adenosine production continues in the background, and it keeps piling up. However, since the receptors are full, it can't find a place to bind. In other words, caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. You feel awake and energetic only because it temporarily blocks the signal telling you that you're tired. Caffeine doesn't add anything, it just blocks something. Meanwhile, exhaustion continues to build up silently in the background. Once the caffeine wears off and the receptors open up again, all that accumulated adenosine floods the receptors all at once. This is why you experience a crash that is much harder than what you would normally feel. The mechanism is actually quite simple, elegant, and a bit deceptive. Now let's talk about milk. The myth that warm milk induces sleep is something some people fiercely defend while others quietly ignore. The truth lies somewhere in the middle and is generally much more interesting than you might think. Milk contains an amino acid called tryptophan. Tryptophan is a building block the body uses to produce serotonin, which then converts into melatonin and affects sleep patterns. The logic is basic. Drink milk, get tryptophan, increase melatonin, and sleep. However, there's a catch. Tryptophan has to compete with other amino acids to reach the brain. In this race, it's not particularly dominant. A single glass of milk doesn't provide enough tryptophan to significantly raise your melatonin levels. Therefore, from a purely biochemical standpoint, the sleep-inducing effect of milk isn't as powerful as people believe. But the story doesn't end there. The true power of warm milk lies in factors beyond chemical effects. A warm drink slightly raises your body temperature. The natural cooling process that occurs as your body tries to lower that heat is strongly linked to the onset of sleep. This is largely why taking a warm shower or bath before bed improves sleep quality. It's not because of a substance in the water, but because of the change in body temperature. There is also a psychological dimension. For many people, warm milk is intertwined with childhood memories, comfort, and routine. The scent, the warmth of the glass, the ritual of preparation, all of these signal safety and rest to the brain. Over time, the brain learns to recognize a consistently repeated behavior as a sleep cue. Warm milk can turn into such a trigger. In short, when you ask why coffee keeps you awake or why milk makes you sleepy, the answer isn't just one thing. Coffee works through a well-understood biochemical mechanism. It physically blocks the receptors that register the fatigue signal. Milk, on the other hand, benefits from a combination of a mild biochemical effect, changes in body temperature, and powerful associations or habits. Neither does exactly what we think it does. Coffee doesn't give you energy. It temporarily hides your exhaustion and makes you pay the debt later. Milk doesn't put you to sleep through a powerful chemical reaction. It gently creates the sleep conditions your body already knows. Interesting questions like these are hidden even in the most ordinary parts of daily life. If you enjoy these kinds of discoveries, the Most Questions channel is just for you. Subscribe and let's keep uncovering these secrets together.